Welcome. This is Amhara Media Corporation Habar channel and you are watching our Monday update live from Bahar Dar, Ethiopia in Nayam Fugrati. Stay with us. Central Bank announced that Ethiopia will allow foreign banks with limited license as initial step. Let's get more from Brahan Warkana.
National Bank of Ethiopia Financial Institutions Supervision Deputy Governor Solomon Desta noted, allowing foreign banks will bring plenty of benefits for Ethiopia in general and the banking sector in particular. The Deputy Governor added, pertinent mechanisms will be implemented to cope with all the challenges, and the plan is to capitalize the positives that the foreign banks will bring to the industry and reduce challenges as well.
There are safeguards of foreign-induced crisis. We will limit the number of foreign banks to the country. This allows us to learn and gain experience and the time for local is competitive capacity.
Stating that the gradual process of allowing foreign banks in the Ethiopian banking industry will give the sector an opportunity to choose and take the right experience that can fit the country. Solomon said the number of licenses to be given for foreign banks will be limited with the limited branches as an initial step. The Deputy Governor underscored capitalizing on the good experience and reducing the consequential damages will be our prioritized activities to be undertaken. The other priority is diversifying the activities of the incoming foreign banks, just not to concentrate on limited cities, companies and individuals, it was learned. According to Solomon, working on capacity building and monitoring mechanism is pivotal.
Our capacity
we will actively work on capacity building, introducing technologies, strengthening cybersecurity, work on financial stability framework, strong supervision and monitoring mechanisms.
Financial መረጋጋት መኖሩን ምንከታተልበትን እነዚህ ነገሮች ሁሉ የሚሰሩ ስራዎች ናቸው.
It is to be recalled that the Council of Ministers decided last month to open up the banking sector to foreign investors, which was only allowed for local bankers. Commenting on the implementation of the policy, Ethiopian Economic Association Professor Mengistu Katama said, when we say let us open our banking industry, it does not mean let it be open in a disordered manner. Working on macroeconomic stability, enhancing the capacity of local banks, and the supervision and monitoring mechanism of the National Bank need to be prioritized, he stressed. The economic researcher Fatana Bogala said preparation on well-planned supervision mechanism and capacity building in human resource and technology are crucial to cope up with the newly incoming sophisticated technologies with foreign bankers. For him, allowing foreign banks in gradual process will be beneficial for the country and for the local bankers, enabling them to take lessons and enhancing the competitive capacity of the bankers through time. Countries that have allowed foreign banks with maximum caution and careful preparations have been successful, while the rest which have allowed them without sufficient preparation suffered a lot.
Country representative said UNHCR is ready to partner with government and donors in responding to needs of conflict-affected people. Let's get more from the report. In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian news agency, the UNHCR representative noted the conflict has affected people in Tigray, Amhara and Afar, stating that his office is supporting thousands of Ethiopians who were displaced by the conflict in South and North Wallo, North Gondar, Sekota and within Tigray. He added that it will continue providing support to communities. Furthermore, he underscored that those are all the needs that need their support and attention, and their organization is within Tigray, Afar and Amhara.
My office is ready to support as much as we can. We have capabilities, we have human beings, we have sometimes some financial support that we have been providing and that we will be continuing to provide. I know that the reconstruction needs are huge. The suffering has been massive. People have lost their houses, and this is an area where UNHCR contribute to. So for UNHCR as an agency, but also as part of the UN family, we get ready to support as much as we can. We need the support of the international community.
He stated the UNHCR would like to see greater access as early as possible, adding that the United Nations agency works closely with the government of Ethiopia. According to him, the peace agreement is essential not only to resume normal life but also to be able to restart services like education, health, shelter, water, and sanitation needs. Commending the peace agreement not just as essential but also much welcomed, Dan Ballard stressed that they would like to see it implemented as early as possible as their brothers and sisters with Tigray, Amhara, and Afar really need it.
We've been able to already start relocating refugees who are caught between factions, across the conflict lines, and we have close to 3,000 refugees, Eritrean refugees, who have now been relocated voluntarily to Alamot side in Dabat. So we see this demonstration of leadership as essential, and we indeed would like to have as much access as possible to our brothers and sisters, irrespective of where they are.
He also said that within the peace agreement and lifting of restrictions, the UNHCR can do more and better, and it's ready. It is to be recalled that National Disaster Risk Management Commissioner Shifarao Teklemariam announced yesterday that following the signing of the peace agreement between the Ethiopian government and TPLF, the government has opened both air and road transport to supply aid to Tigray, Amhara, and Afar regions that have been affected by the war. The renowned peace and security scholar Dr. Jonas Adaye Adeto said stopping the war is the most important point of the peace agreement between Ethiopian government and TPLF. Modamuluye.
Most important parts of the agreement are ceasefire, stopping the fight.
The government of Ethiopia and the Tigray Liberation Front TPLF signed a peace agreement after the African Union-led talks held in Pretoria, the Republic of South Africa. Amhara Media Corporation English Service had the renowned peace and security scholar Dr. Jonas Adaye Adeto say on this issue. In an exclusive interview with our Messenger program, the scholar said that stopping the war and creating peaceful platforms is the most important point of the peace agreement.
The most important parts of the agreement are ceasefire, stopping the fight. Day one, even for 1 minute, if we really saved a dying life, that is success. Africans can handle their problems. So African-led solution truly works because this is well guided by the African Union and the two fighting parties. So this sends a huge signal to the rest of the world that Africans can handle their own problem and they can solve their problems.
Dr. Jonas also emphasized disarming TPLF is another key point of the peace agreement, and it will pave the way to permanently end the conflict and ensure peace and security in Ethiopia.
Disarming particularly irregular army, because in any country you expect monopoly of violence, as we call it in political science, is only to be held by a state. A government that's leading the country, a government which is recognized by the United Nations and the rest of course, other state players, as we call it in political science. So any irregular army, any armed body really is unacceptable for normal function of peace and security provision to citizens.
The scholar said that the 10th Tana Forum held in Bahar Dar city sometime before the Pretoria peace agreement played a great role for the success of the deal.
As Tana Forum is an African agenda. The very problem is in Africa, therefore solution should also be from Africa. That discussion was just concluded. What has been discussed, what has been debated at intellectual level, at leaders level, at policy level, going into implementation by, again, all those levels.
Both parties to the agreement are expected to comply with the deal.
China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation and DMC Trading PLC have signed an agreement for the construction of 5-star hotel, mall and apartment in the heart of Addis Ababa with a cost of 14.2 billion birr. Ababa Burhane will give us the detail.
China Civil Engineering Construction Cooperation General Manager in Ethiopia, Go Chongfeng, and DMC Trading PLC Chief Executive Officer Dereje Habtamu signed the agreement on Saturday. Speaking on the occasion, Chongfeng said, as Addis Ababa is known as the political capital of Africa, its growing number of business travelers, multinational organizations and foreign investors are driving the demand for quality accommodation. Noting that China Civil Engineering Construction Cooperation entered Ethiopia in 2012, he said since then China have enjoyed mutual growth with Ethiopia. He said that Ethiopia is where China grow, adding that Ethiopian prosperity is what China wish for, and Ethiopian people are who China care about. Appreciating Ethiopia for giving trust to China Civil Engineering Construction Cooperation to construct the Addis Ababa-Djibouti Railway, he stated that they knew how important that railway was to Ethiopia, a rail of equality, a way of prosperity. To contribute to Ethiopia's economic growth, China Civil Engineering Construction Cooperation went on to build 5 industrial parks and dozens of other projects, adding that they fulfill all contracts with integrity, quality and efficiency. DMC Trading PLC Chief Executive Officer and Owner Dereje Habtamu, who has been living in USA for 15 years, said he came to invest in Ethiopia following the call made by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to all Ethiopian diaspora to engage in development activities in their homeland. According to him, the 5-star hotel, mall and apartment project to be built with an outlay of 14.2 billion birr will be completed within 3 to 4 years. The investment project is expected to create jobs for many citizens, in addition to strengthening the development of tourism industry in the country.
This is Amhara Media Corporation Haber channel and you're watching our Monday update live from Bahar Dar, Ethiopia. And now proceeding to news beyond borders. First, Kenyan president calls for more international efforts to bring peace to Democratic Republic of Congo. Kenyan President William Ruto on Friday appealed to the international community through the United Nations to put more resources into peace efforts by countries from East and Southern African nations in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Ruto made the comments following discussion with Young Jia, the special envoy of the United Nations Secretary General to the Great Lakes region in the Kenyan capital Nairobi. Ruto said Kenya is fully committed and wholly invested in the achievement of regional peace and security, and they will support all initiatives to end conflict and bring stability and prosperity to East Africa and the Great Lakes region. An East African regional force has already been deployed to Democratic Republic of Congo's restive eastern part to end the conflict, while Uganda is conducting a separate joint operation with the Congolese army against the rebels. Kenya officially sent troops last week to join a contingent from Burundi as part of the regional force and also spearheaded the formation of a political process adopted by the East African Community EAC to bring peace. Kenyan farmers are opting for organic farm inputs to improve the quality and safety of their products while also taking care of the environment. Brahan Wargana will give us the detail.
CGTN mate Stephen Kariki Mutai, who uses biofertilizer to boost his crop yields instead of conventional chemical fertilizer. The 33-year-old from Nakuru in Kenya's Rift Valley prides himself as a certified organic farmer. Kariki added that biofertilizers help in ensuring food safety as well as mitigating against climate change. While chemical fertilizer releases greenhouse gases into the air, biofertilizer does the opposite. It traps gases like carbon dioxide in the soil. Kariki said carbon is meant to be retained in the soil as opposed to being released in the air, which is what causes the issue of climate change. So the essence is to retain as much as possible the carbon in the soil. This organic farmer discovered biofertilizers after he met Mildred Day, a manufacturer of eco-friendly import. Day works with a group of women in making the best out of Nakuru country's waste organic matter. At her compost sites, the organic matter takes months to fully process. The process entails layering of different types of waste from animal farm and residential organic waste. It is also fortified with nutrients to help make a rich mix. Day says her fertilizers are climate smart. She said most of the farmers use rain-fed agriculture, and because of climate change effects, there is less rainfall than normal. This means there is declining productivity in the farms, but when organic fertilizers are used, it has high water retention. Climate change notwithstanding, more farmers are adopting climate-smart agriculture against droughts, floods and rising temperatures. While not many farmers understand the contribution of their practice to climate change, experts believe there is a need to get them enlightened so they may adopt climate-smart methods. Anja Beretta, head of program Energy Security and Climate Change, said the agriculture sector in Africa is the largest emitter of greenhouse gases. It is also a sector that provides income for about 60% of the population, so it is not something that you can just ban. So it is very important that we find methods that will not deteriorate the environment further but provide enough food for everyone.
This is all we got for today. I am Fikrat Dizodo and you are watching our daily news live from Bahar Dar, Ethiopia. Goodbye and have a nice time.